If you are an OnlyFans creator or an agency, then this video is literally for you. Most people at this level, they're going to hate what I'm about to say next. $10,000 a month is proof that you know what you're doing, but there's so much more you don't know and mistakes you're making that can really elevate what you're doing. And this is one of the most common places most creators in this space and agencies get stuck at per month. So if you want to scale it to 100 grand a month or $1 million a month, this is literally how you do it. And I got my notes over here for throughout the video to talk about, but yeah. At $10,000 a month, your problem's no longer hustle. It's not content volume. It's not messaging your fans even harder. It means you validated demand, but you haven't built leverage. So let's talk about how to build leverage here. So if you're confusing effort with scale, that's a big issue. So if you're putting in effort in manual chatting or uploading content or making content or trying to sell different offers or whatever, or just focusing on one traffic source, you need to have major levers you're pulling on. And nowadays with AI, there's huge levers you can leverage, and that's what I go in and help people with. So if you're at like 10 grand a month, around there, or between 10 grand, 100 grand a month, and you're just doing low leverage stuff, and there's so many ways to scale, like you're missing out. You need to team up with me, and I just do a percentage type deal on top of what you're already making. So I don't take anything what you're already making a percentage of. It's just what I add to what you're doing, and I scale you way further. I prefer working with people who are in momentum. So basically, you need to scale with more traffic sources, more automation, more hiring people strategically and overseas is best, or in person for effectively cheap. But traffic's everything. This is really just a marketing and attention business. The more attention you get, the more money you make at the end of the day. And then you send as many clicks as possible to your top models, basically. And you earn massive, massive revenue. And you got to optimize your pricing. Optimize for high conversion rates, make your offers great. And if you really know what you're doing, and I know this for sure, how do you product launch, content launches, and sell this content at scale and do many launches all the time? How do you do that? If you already have an audience, you have momentum, and you have marketing going for you, this is how you do it. So it's crazy. If you stop working for 7 days and revenue drops 40 to 60%, you don't have a business, you have a high paying job. And most people do have a job here, and it's like a hustle. You want it to be treated like a business and have massive leverage here. That's the goal. So here's the back end math here. So you got pay-per-view prices, chat scripts, you've got one-time sales and recurring sales, of course. And then what's your LTV? What's your lifetime value here? What's your payback period? And then what's your max cost per action? How much are you able to spend if you want to do paid ads to scale? How much can you spend on average to acquire sales and customers and people subscribing to this? So these numbers matter, and they allow you to scale based off just math alone. Now, I recommend grow organically as high as you can, leverage every single traffic source. There are traffic sources you're not even aware of. And if you're someone making right now in this industry or outside this industry below 10 grand a month, I recommend get my program where it's got a ton of bonus programs inside of it, but step-by-step how you can make money with all this, and not just this industry, but tons of stuff. And it's step-by-step AI method, along with many other methods that could seriously make you money. It's all step-by-step. So I recommend getting to that no matter what. If you want to scale far and fast, I highly recommend team up with me. If you're someone who would qualify for that, and then I could just blow up your marketing, more traffic sources, more content distribution, leveraging AI to make effective content, and then how to actually sell tons of types of content that will seriously go viral, but also get tons of sales and be huge product launches. Like, for example, if I were to work with a model who just has one traffic source of Instagram, let's say, or has 5 million followers or whatever. From 5 million followers, we could get at least 1 million clicks in a month. From 1 million clicks in a month, we should be earning on average 10 cents to 20 cents per click sent. So that can end up being 100 grand or more, basically. But it really does vary based off how many offers we're selling, how great is the back-end monetization methods, how many ways are we monetizing, what are our growth hacks in place, and how big can we scale next month. So there's so many variables at play, and that's why this is so good, and it is so lucrative. It's really high profit margins, obviously. It's super lucrative. It's really just an attention economy business, basically. Like, it's just marketing and marketing only. You don't scale OF by being better at OF. You scale it by being better at numbers. Okay, it really is a math game. It just is. The better you are at math here, you win, and your LTV is going to be super, super high. So the leverage shift here. So 3 levers that actually scale past 10 grand a month. If you're relying on just one platform, that's very fragile. You don't want to be fragile here. You want to be scalable. You want to scale super, super fast. And you want to be omnipresent in as many ways as possible. Be omnipresent. Be distributing content across as many platforms as you can. So definitely TikTok, definitely Reels, definitely YouTube Shorts. And this is just the short form classic content engine you're going to be leveraging, but you can scale in more ways, way more ways. But those are the most obvious ways. But then there's like site-specific platform ways to scale. Also, I recommend leverage X and Reddit and everything too. So your job isn't to go viral. Your job is to buy attention cheaply with content. A lot of people want to scale with paid ads, and you can totally do that, but you better have a model or models that can be capable of that, who have content that's tested with free content methods that you can then turn into ads and be off to the races and all set. Plus, you have to elevate your offer to be more desirable to cold traffic at scale and profitably. That's key. So the next thing here is systems over talent. So you need to have systems. You don't want to just go based off of talent. And agencies break at like 10 grand a month because they got one good chatter, one good creator, and no document process. And you're unorganized. You also have different ways to potentially fail, or traffic sources that are dying, or maybe bad content strategies. There's a lot of ways to fail. You need systems and you need what works. When you have what works and you have systems, you're set. So if your best person quit tomorrow, could you replace them in 7 days? Okay, some of you don't even have a person or a team or at all helping you, it's just you. And that's fine, but when I go in there, I'm able to help you really scale, help you hire people, know how to hire people, know how to find people, but especially how to elevate your marketing and monetization, how to sell. If I team up with you, you better be basically, the only way I'm going to team up with you is if you're at least over 50 grand a month, really. But the truth is, if you're at 10 grand a month actually and above that, then you could scale to 50 grand, 100 grand pretty quick because you just got to triple down on what works. So the key is to get to that point where you're in momentum. Most people cannot reach that point. That's why it's somewhat rare. Once you're at that point, I can help you just scale to the next level. Okay, my goal is to get as many clients as possible that are at 100 grand or more a month. Obviously, 1 million or more a month is the real goal, to team up with those kind of individuals. But the goal is have as many clients I'm working with that are crushing it, and I can help just crush it even more. So that's the goal. So most creators and most OFM agencies, you basically just leverage OF, but you can also monetize in more ways. You can monetize with communities, with other ways of monetizing within that platform, but then you can have backup platforms too. You can also do affiliate marketing. You could do e-commerce. You could do sponsorships. You could do brand deals. You can do white label services. You could sell education. You could sell coaching. There's a lot of more ways to monetize all of this. It's crazy. So OF should be your top of funnel, not your entire business. Ultimately, you can monetize in so many ways. It's crazy. And that's what business is all about. Like, if you want to have an actual successful business, you better either dominate in a commodity business, or if you're in a marketing business like this, you better stand out in every way possible and monetize as much as possible. And marketing businesses like this, it's basically about getting attention. It's about monetizing in as many ways as possible at as high profit margins as possible, and as many leverage points and unfair advantages as possible. That's your whole goal. Literally, that's it. So most agencies, for example, not just creators here, but just agencies, if you have only a few creators, like 3 creators, maybe 1, that's an issue. If you have no acquisition system and no standardized onboarding, you have an issue here. If you have no actual way to effectively know, guaranteed that you can market and sell at scale and grow creators and models, then you're in a bad situation. So if you don't have a replaceable way to sign creators every month, you're not an agency, you're a freelancer with overhead. So you need to basically have a system and a way to bring on new creators all the time. But if you could bring on huge creators, you're winning. So let's say you have a few mediocre models or creators, that's definitely an issue. You need to focus on basically getting as big of creators as you possibly can, whatever it takes. Even 1 is perfect because you'll discover, let's say you have 10 models you're managing, there's going to be the 80-20 rule at play here. You're going to have the 20% that's outperforming the 80%. You're going to have 20% that's making 80% of your money or more. So, or the 1% in some cases, or just a 1 creator or model is making you all the money. So yeah, it's just how it works. And that applies to every business. There's always that one variable or small minute thing that equates to all your money. That's how it works in a lot of businesses. Now I'm talking to creators here. So basically it's not a personal brand. It's not an OF page. It's kind of both, but it's basically about standing out. It's basically about acquiring attention. Now, long form content builds trust and definitely does convert even in this industry. Trust increases, conversion increases, pay-per-view and retention, everything increases. The creators making the most money aren't the most explicit, they're the most trusted. Okay, so you need to basically do things that elevate your trust, but also elevate your likability in the viewers and audience's eyes that watch. So likability is powerful, especially for this, but also reciprocity and curiosity and desire is powerful. It's many persuasion points that actually add up and really make you successful here. Now back to numbers and math here. Basically, most people do not track. You need to track your daily content output and what's required and your averages that you're making in view counts based off your daily output, and then how many views you're getting on average and how much you're making on average per 1,000 views, per 10,000 views, per 100,000 views. You got to figure out this math. Subscriber cohort behavior. The difference between $10,000, $100,000 a month is usually one spreadsheet and math and calculated action taking. It's really all about that. And there's so many more things to track, like what's your cost to acquire a lead, what's your cost to acquire an actual customer if you're doing paid ads, but also if you're putting money and time into creating content, what's your cost to acquire sales based off your input. All business is just people and teams working together in putting inputs of energy into something and hopefully having more profitable outputs out of it. That's all business really is. And in this case, that's what it is too. So if this video made you uncomfortable, that's a good sign. Because, 10 grand a month is the hardest level to leave because it feels successful, but it's really not that successful yet, really. Like you have so much more you can do. But it's also where real scale starts if you stop doing everything yourself. So subscribe if you're serious about growth and if you really want to scale what you're doing, whether you're doing OFM or you're a creator, and you're making good money, you're in momentum here, and you're at least over 10 grand a month or whatever, book a call with me or my team. You can find the link down below, and we could talk about this. Hop on the phone, we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about how I can actually help you scale here. And we'll negotiate a good percentage that's fair. It won't be me taking any money from what you're already doing. It'll be on top of what you're already doing. And what I put in as work to help you scale, then I just earn a percentage of that. And the goal is literally to make you as much money as possible and scale you as far as possible. It's a win-win. It's a no-brainer. It's literally the best offer I've ever actually had, ever. It's crazy. And if you're a beginner here and you want to make money online, from over the years, I've learned a lot, and I put it all together to make the most no-brainer offer ever. You can check out my program down below. It's basically just called the AI Method plus bonuses, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of courses and bonuses in there that are very valuable to you. The best thing you can do is invest in yourself and invest in a network and connections, and then invest in things that work and opportunities that work. So that's what this is all about. And at the end of the day, this is just about traffic, clicks, and monetizing as high as possible and in as many ways as possible. And that's all we're doing here. So if you're interested in scaling, let's go. Click the links down below and let's make you some freaking money and peace.